What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I'm Steven, and in today's video I'm checking out my first Selena Gomez project. Now, we've been hyping this up on Instagram and Twitter for quite a while now. After I did her music videos for Look at Her Now and Lose You to Love Me, I did not expect those to get so much popularity. It was really my first real introduction into Selena Gomez, but you guys loved them so much and asked me to check this album out when it finally came out, and so here we are streaming Rare. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know what to expect out of this, especially since Lose You to Love Me, which I've listened to numerous times since then, was such an emotional song, and finally learning that who it was actually about was nice because it made the song make a lot more sense. And then she released Look at Her Now, which was just like the total opposite. So I don't actually know what I'm gonna get for the sound of this album, but that's okay. I think that's a great way to go into a full album. As you guys know, this is my album channel. That means that I check out full albums and full album related content like vinyl hauls and stuff like that. So if you're interested, maybe you want to stick around. I don't know. This first song is called Rare, and again, no idea what to expect here. Hey, nice little beat there. I like the way she delivers those lyrics right there. There's like a double chorus right there. Like, I thought the little section right before that was actually the chorus, but I think this is better with that little bit higher of a range of vocals from her. It sounds really good. I'm actually digging the lyrics there. I hope there's somebody else out there to make me feel rare. I'm gonna assume, based on only knowing the singles, I'm gonna assume that there's gonna be a pretty decent amount of emotion in here. There was a pretty big hiatus. Selena went through a lot, and so I'm assuming we're gonna address a lot of that on here. So perfect chorus for that. I'm a sucker for a good intro track, especially when it's an album that I don't really know what to expect out of, and I definitely like that there. I feel like Rare, track 1, better go number 1 or I'm not going on tour. Oh shit. I like the idea of a great intro track going into a very upbeat song like this. I'm really enjoying the production on this right now. I'm digging the chorus. I do wish that she was using a little bit higher of a range here. I feel like it would be a little bit more, just because the instrumentals and everything feels like such a great build-up. I feel like it would have been really cool to get that higher range from her here. I just feel like it would have been a little bit more impactful. Oh, I like that a lot. I feel like that track is a perfect dance hit. I don't see why that wouldn't be played in a lot of clubs. It just definitely felt the right way. Overall, I really enjoyed the song. I think the production on it is great. Definitely reminded me of 80s, like almost like new wave dance type stuff. So I can tell there's definitely a lot of influence from that. I guess the only critique I have is that she does have a really like pretty higher range. And I do feel like that song, because she sang in a lower register for a lot of it, in the chorus, it would have been really cool to come out and have like a really bright, I don't know, sort of vocal with it. That's just my personal opinion. I was trying to pay attention to the lyrics, trying to follow along with what was going on. Didn't quite pick it up on the first listen, but that's okay. I'm actually a really big fan of her delivery when she does the song, and she uses that like very well enunciated, almost like speaking. I enjoy that from her. I even said that, I'm pretty sure, when I listened to the song originally. Of course she was sad, but now she's glad she dodged a bullet. I was already a huge fan of that song when it originally released. I thought it was perfect to release Lose You to Love Me, which was obviously very sad, and then like the next day or a day later drop this track, because it was kind of nice to see that evolution. You know, Lose You to Love Me being, I do feel like they should have mixed this better in the album. I think that this should have been flipped. I think Lose You to Love Me should have been first, because it's that very emotional moment where she's being so raw, and then Look at Her Now is supposed to be like we get to see where she's at now, but we have to hear everywhere that she had been prior to that. So I like that song when it came out. I like that it's very upbeat. It was very different from the other single, and I still feel that way. The fucking production on that song is so That lyric makes so much more sense to me because when I first released a music video reaction to this track, I didn't know that it was about the Biebs because, I don't know, I didn't really follow that. I knew she dated The Weeknd for a little bit. I didn't know who this was about. But now that I'm going back knowing that and I hear Purpose, I'm like, when I first heard that part, I nerded out so hard, and even to this day when I hear the song, I look forward to this part so much. It just feels very like anthemic, and you can feel that emotion that she's singing from because she's hurt. This was actually a really great vocal performance from her in general when I first heard it. It's really nice. It was one of the first Selena Gomez songs I guess I ever really heard. And to hear those vocals coming out on this track, knowing damn well how much pain she was in to write this song, to have that evolution, I think that is what hit the most for me. And so when you've got like the harmonizing vocals going out in the back, almost choir sounding, I feel like it just like added to the hurt. It just feels so big and impactful, and I still love that track. I feel like so many people can relate to that. You guys have been in these relationships where you just like keep going back and like you hate yourself so much, but like you don't want to be without this person, and so you lose your identity. I've been there. I'm sure a lot of you have. That song was always so good. I'm liking this instrumental. Kind of sounds like Havana, doesn't it? Let's listen to it again.
One in a billion, baby. I brought my finger like a ring.
This kind of feels like it would have been a Camila Cabello song.
My puppets on a string. All 23. Now I'm Jordan with G-O-A-T.
I received your message, all 23. You know I'm Jordan with it. G-O-A-T. I don't think I was ever going to imagine there being a Michael Jordan reference being the GOAT on a Selena Gomez record.
Ring, ring. Wrap around my finger like a ring.
I wasn't really feeling that song. I don't know why. It just kind of, I mean, I guess it's hard because I don't really know what Selena's entire discography sounds like, but it just doesn't feel like it fits. I'm not quite sure. I do like the Jordan reference. Again, not something I would have expected on a Selena Gomez record. I don't really know how much of the writing she does. I just kind of feel like the song like either wasn't written for her or like it doesn't really fit in here. I don't know. That's just me.
I gave you every piece of me, I know that you could drop it. Before you open my heart to you, I know that you could lock it.
I actually like verses like that. I'm a pretty big fan of that. So far, there's been a lot of different styles from Selena on here. We've just heard her like many different styles, both not only in the instrumentals, but also in her overall vocal delivery. So that's kind of interesting for sure, especially, again, when I don't know too much about her discography. I'm getting a big range of what she does all in one album. Oh, yeah. Oh, I need a big chorus. Come on. Great pre-chorus. Give us a drop. Okay. Kind of feel like the chorus is a little anticlimactic there. There was a huge build-up almost twice. There's almost like 2 pre-chorus moments. And it wasn't a very big drop, but I did like I like when people use vocals in the instruments. I think that's always like really interesting to hear like vocals turns into instrumentals, and you got a little bit of that on this. I do love the 80s vibe though that we're picking up, but I kind of wanted a real strong chorus there. Woo! Those high notes that just came out at the end of that song, I needed more of that in this song. I know she can do that, and they sound so good. I feel like that would have been the chorus, because her voice in the verses, beautiful. But I feel like it doesn't quite, I don't know, it's not that big, but I feel like that higher range that she just hit at the end, add a couple of those moments to the chorus, and you've got a radio single easily. I love the 80s influence in this track. I'm always going to attach myself to those synth pop kind of style songs. I have like a soft spot for the 80s, and so yeah, it would have been really sick to have some of those moments in the chorus. So there's so many things going on with the vocals there. There is Selena singing, and then of course backing vocals that have some like pitch things going on to them. I love that sound. I do appreciate when artists do that sound a little bit. It's one of the reasons I fell in love with Banks so much in 2019, because there's a lot of that happening. So I'm really appreciative that Selena is using that in this track.
Never know when enough is enough. So then we used to be close, but people can go.
I need more of that. I feel like Selena keeps keeping these really beautiful high moments until the very end of these tracks, but she's got it. Belt it out, girl. Like, I want to hear it. I find myself in a weird moment where I really enjoy the song. The hook is very catchy, and it's to the point where it's already stuck in my head, and I know it's going to be there for a very long time. And I feel like it's kind of funny because the lyrics couldn't be more simple. And so my criticism would have been, I wish that there was a little bit more songwriting in this. It is a bit repetitive, yet it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Like, all I can think about right now is listening to the song again. Again, I do wish that those high notes were happening a little more on this album. I don't need it the entire album. She has a beautiful voice in the range that she typically sings in. But saving these massive moments for the last 20 to 30 seconds of a song feels like you are robbing us, Selena. You are robbing us.
But tonight it's for free.
That's really all I was asking for there. Just give me some more of that. Anything in that higher range, she just kills it so well there. If you guys don't think Billie Eilish has made a mark, or I'm sorry, Billie Eilish and Phineas have made a mark on the pop industry, just listen to the instrumental in the background. I don't think you really would have heard this like 2 years ago, but Phineas comes in with the way that he produces some of these songs, and you can hear that type of influence on this beat right in the back. I always try to think of it as like a dark circus happening behind you, but not like ICP. Okay, there is a lot happening in the production on that song alone. Again, very Phineas influenced, and it's just cool to see that. I don't think that's a negative at all. I think it's amazing to see that kind of thing being like pushed in the pop genre where you probably wouldn't have seen it. And hearing Selena keep up with this, I feel like she did a really great job. I feel like that's not an instrumental that everybody can do songs over. It's really not for everyone. And honestly, when I first started hearing the instrumental, I was a little bit nervous myself. However, I actually feel like she did a really great job with this. The chorus was very catchy, and overall, I felt like for such a complex instrumental with a very interesting genre to it, she did really well on that.
Me and you, baby, it's just me and you.
This is a perfect vocal from her. Even just 5 seconds of it, I love this sound from her. I want more of this. I know the album's not over yet. Maybe I will get more, but she sounds so perfect here.
Started polite, Adam, then I aligned, and you were mine.
Damn, she should have just done Yummy.
Feel lost, well, so do I. I think that you should call me in the morning.
This is all I wanted. This is it.
Baby, and you.
I just want to say, before we get to the black feature in this song, this is all I wanted. This is perfect. She's got a range that I love her singing in. She's singing in a much higher range in her little bit of a chorus here. And I feel like over this R&B inspired beat, this is perfect. Like, actually perfect. This is probably going to be my favorite song. Woo!
Not too many of them put it down like me. I know that we were
Yeah.
wrong. It made the whole room feel slow motion.
That, in my opinion, is a perfect song. 10 out of 10. I love to hear Selena there. I feel like that is a great mix for her. I mean, I know this album already went #1, but those are the type of songs that I feel like could easily shoot up in the charts without having to instruct your entire fan base on how to stream something to get it to #1. I feel like that is perfect. Those higher range vocals, the even higher notes that she hits, and having a black feature like that, which in my opinion, every time he does a feature, it kind of sounds similar, but it's because it works. Like, his music works every single time, including here. Perfect R&B inspired track, and it's definitely my favorite on this album so far. Such a highlight. The only thing I really want to say about that song, obviously I was loving the instrumental. I am a sucker for a good instrumental, but there are so many very atmospheric moments in this where her voice like literally becomes space, and it's like overlaid with one another, and you can feel it. It's so airy, and it's got to be one of the coolest vocal sounds I've heard on this album. I wish there was some more like that. I kind of wish that Selena would experiment even more with stuff like that, because it creates such an amazing moment. And when you hear it on good speakers, it's just like she's got a lot of vocal talent here, and I feel like in some songs she's not really going to the fullest with it, even though I know that she could do it and then some, just based on some of these highlight tracks for me. But that was a really beautiful moment on that song. Hey!
It's true, I like the maybe you wanna slow down, and it's just not right.
I just struggle so much when there's these songs that are, I mean, that song was a little bit chaotic. I actually feel, and this is weird coming from me, that the instrumental had too much going on. I feel like it was taking away from the storytelling aspect of the song. But what bugs me is that the best part of the track happens in the last 30 seconds. This is such a common theme, and there's a couple reasons why. One, it could just be the songwriting. She's saving her best parts for the bridge, but it's 2020. The truth is that the only way that streams count, the only way that songs really count towards like your streaming numbers, is if you get past the first 30 seconds. And so I feel like everything is a build up to get to, and then the longer, of course, that you keep people on your song, the better your statistics are. And that's not her fault. I know she's not the main writer. Everybody writes this together and collaborates, but that's how music is lately. So I'm not going to go on this rant right now, but there's been a handful of songs on here already where her best moments in the track happen towards the last minute to the last 30 seconds. And I really hope that that's not the reason why, because that sucks. Oh, shit.
Gotta clean my slate, and I'm up, so I gotta get you out my head.
Damn. Two things. One, if you thought that I was just going on a random rant at the end of that song, I want to let you know that at exactly 29 seconds, her high note kicked in and you were connected to the song. So this ain't no conspiracy. This is a real thing. However, I actually enjoyed that build up a lot already.
Messing with my health. How could I imagine? I just cut you off. Yeah, I cut you off.
I feel like that was such a beautiful moment from Selena on this album vocally. It really shines here, especially with those vocal runs in the chorus. I enjoyed her singing over this very simplistic beat because, again, sometimes you don't need all of that production. Sometimes you can strip it back and really allow an artist to shine, and that's exactly what they did here on this song. I think she did a wonderful job with this. I enjoyed the storytelling aspect, and it was very easy to follow along with it. And again, 29 seconds when the first drop happened, I'm telling you, it's not a conspiracy.
Is there a place where I can hide away, all away?
Oh, Selena, if you could just sing like this to me all day.
We can sugarcoat the taste.
Oh, shit!
Got some freedom.
Fucking love that so much. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't heard a Kid Cudi track since, like, fucking high school.
So clear.
Selena really just saved the best track for last. It's very weird for me to ever like love the features the most, but it wasn't so much the feature aspect of this song. Selena just really shines in this song. Same with Crowded Room. I feel like everything I wanted from her vocally, everything I wanted from her lyrically and sonically, I got out of the two features in this. She's great. On a base level, she's amazing. But to hear her be able to get on these collaboration tracks and even one-up herself, I feel like those are the most interesting moments on this album. It's almost like she's breaking out of her shell and really coming together and bringing us to a sweeter place. And I absolutely enjoyed that feature. I haven't heard a Cudi track in forever. So this is actually the first Selena Gomez full project that I've ever listened to, and I'm very indifferent. And the reason being is that some of these songs are so good. And some of these songs, like, I could do without. I feel like there's some really great moments on this album that are easily remembered and I want to go back to. I never tend to love a collaboration, yet here I am with Crowded Room and A Sweeter Place, and I think she shined so much. My other knock is that I wish that the best moments in some of these songs weren't saved until the very end. Again, I know why for the most part, but I don't like that because there are moments in here where her voice just comes together and it's so beautiful. She hits these high ranges and she really belts it out. And I feel like we don't really get that in any of the other tracks on a normal basis. And I feel like that's a disservice to Selena Gomez because she has ranges that I want to hear more of on this album. I just feel like some of the songs were just lacking that that pull me in and keep me in. And I feel like because of that, I didn't love every song on here. But I do gotta say that the tracks that stood out to me are easily standouts. I cannot wait to see them become singles because this album is already #1. It reached #1 in 18 minutes, and rightfully so. There is some really great stuff on here, but I feel like the project overall just wasn't everything for me. Now, because I haven't listened to Revival, I don't really know what the normal songwriting process is for her. I don't really know what her music typically sounds like, but I am very interested now to check out Revival because I want to know the biggest differences between these two albums. I think that's really important. It's hard to listen to one project from one artist and immediately assume you know everything because I loved the singles in this, so I cannot wait to hear more of her music. I hope you guys liked today's video. If you did, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Let me know your thoughts on the album in the comment section. Again, I know that every album is not for everybody and you can't love everything, but there's some really great moments on here, and for even the ones that I didn't like, I still found a lot of joy in the ones that I really did like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.